Welcome to another episode of the Eventful Life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited because guess what? Today we're going to talk about something I love the most, cakes. And obviously right off the heels of my birthday, guys, this is so fitting. So I'm excited to be here with Lindsay Cakes. Lindsay of LinZ Cakes. She obviously is not the cake, but she is Lindsay of LinZ Cakes. And so, Lindsay, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk to you.
Lindsay, tell us a little bit about just how you got started with this, because I think this is absolutely amazing that you actually create these wonderful, they look delicious, and I'm sure they taste delicious too, but that you create these.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it just sort of happened naturally for me. I was in school for something else that I thought would be a professional choice, and just realized that really was not the path for me, that I would never be happy doing that. So I dropped out and went to culinary school.
And what were you doing before?
I was going to school to be a teacher. And
so she had to pick kids over cakes.
Yes.
Or cakes over kids.
Both things I love. And I always
Yes.
thought, I love kids. I thought teaching, what a cool job. But I just realized my juices are, I have creative, just desires. And so that would have been a bad choice for me. I just needed to do something creative and artistic. And so I left school and went to school for baking and pastry.
Wow.
And got my degree. And then the cake thing kind of came out because I was bringing cakes to the office I was working at, and just, something that I loved. It was just something that I loved, and it was fun to share.
Yes.
And then people started saying, oh, is that a LinZ cake? And so that's where the name came out.
Wow.
It was just kind of named by coworkers.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
I bet that coworker is like wanting royalties now. They're like, hey, I named you.
She hasn't knocked on my door yet,
good.
but she might after this. Who knows? So yeah, it just kind of happened, and it grew from there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. And so let's talk about you said 14 years. Guys, that's nothing to sneeze at, to be in business for 14 years. But in the midst of that, you also had some stuff happening with your family, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about the family side.
Yeah. Well, we had 2 kids during the time I was doing LinZ Cakes. So that was a 10-year time with LinZ Cakes. And during that time, I was just kind of doing both, having a family and like prioritizing being a mom, but then also doing the cake business on the side, which was growing a lot. So it got to the point where, every weekend was practically a wedding cake and other cakes. And then we, so that was 10 years. And then we had a 3rd child, and it just kind of made me realize, okay, I need to step back for a little while.
That's a lot. 3 kids,
Yeah.
While you're running a business can, get overwhelming, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then my husband travels a lot with work. He's military. So it's just kind of, like it falls on me to do that stuff. So I took an intentional step back 5 years ago.
Wow.
And I felt good about it. It was a good rest.
Good decision. Right, right. Sometimes you have to make those decisions. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to make those decisions that are best for you so that, you can feel good about what you're doing, whether that's in the professional life or the personal life.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I feel blessed that I have that ability to take a step back and kind of, evaluate it over again.
Sure.
And kind of like take the temperature of my family. Like, is everybody good here? Am I doing too much? It's a luxury to be able to do that. So I'm thankful I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now I've just recently, in January, decided, okay, it's a good time for our family for me to take this on again. So it's been fun to just, regrow it
and some
jump
of the
back
learning
in.
curves. How did you kind of get back into it and get yourself back out there? Let's talk about, because I know that's probably some of the concerns for some of our, women out there who may be thinking about starting a business is, how do I put myself out there? Like, how do I let people know that I'm here if that's something I'm going to do?
Yeah, that was definitely it's been a learning process because I didn't even have Instagram, when I was here 15 years ago, 14 years ago.
I was going to say, I don't think any of us had Instagram or probably weren't thinking about Instagram at that time.
So that's been new, navigating that. Yeah. I still had my Facebook page so I could kind of say, hey, I'm here again. If you need a cake and you came to me in the past, I'm doing this again.
Yeah.
So that has been, that's boosted it. And then, but it's just been completely different than it was when I stopped. It's the whole, the trends are completely different, and how you reach people is different. What people want is completely different. So it's just been relearning the whole scene.
Wow.
But it's been fun. It's like really getting my creative, mind going.
Flowing. Sure,
yeah, and it's taking me out of where I'm comfortable and forcing me to kind of, okay, now what are we doing here?
Right.
Reevaluate and and learn a lot in the process.
I was just about to say, and I'm sure you're learning a lot. So kudos to you for even taking that on, and realizing that it's something that you needed to do if you were going to get back into it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we allow uncomfortability or fear, if you will, to prevent us from jumping back in, or even just jumping, because we're thinking about all the things that may go wrong instead of the things that could go right.
Absolutely, yeah. And anytime you're in a creative field, it's kind of hard to put yourself out there. You're basically putting what you do and your work out there to be judged. Yeah. And some people, may not like it, and a lot of people will. Yeah. But it's always putting yourself out there. That's a little scary. So.
Yes, but I love that. Well, you are definitely putting yourself out here, and I think that people are loving it.
Thank you. Well, the ultimate compliment is when someone comes back. If I have a repeat customer, I'm like, that's all I need. Yeah, I know you liked it and you want more.
Right.
So that's awesome.
So tell us about how so how many kids do you have?
We have 3.
So they have 3 kids total. And so tell us a little bit about how you were able to do some of that prioritizing or juggling, if you will, especially as the kids were getting older. You're running here and there, especially with 3 kids. You got multiple schedules, changing diapers, feedings. I mean, all kind of craziness that, that we moms do with so much grace, which is amazing,
Yeah.
So how are you able to juggle those things?
I think probably moms are really good at working in pieces, I think, is how I operate. I'll do one portion of something here and then take a break because somebody needs me or I have to go somewhere.
Right.
And
working
then
in pieces, guys.
Yeah. Come back. And you have to be able to kind of do that, I think, to be able to step away. Okay, I'm going to pick up there when I left off.
Right.
But the challenge to that is then to be where you are, I think. Yeah. Okay, that has to wait till later, but I still need to be here for this thing now.
So being present.
Yeah. And I try to be really intentional, okay, I'm doing this cake to the best of my ability now.
Right.
And then when I step away, I'm going to be a mom to the best of my ability and not be thinking about all that.
I love that.
Easier said than done, but that's definitely where I try to be. Yeah.
Easier said than done, but I think sometimes our intention is, we're doing something, and so then our mind is on something else, so we're like, okay, let me hurry up and do this so that I can get to that. But you actually, I love what you said, because it's actually the reverse. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then when I'm done with this, I'm going to go and do that. But whatever I'm doing at that moment, that's what I'm going to be focused and give my all to.
Yeah.
So I love that. I think that's a great nugget. Great nugget.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about this cake here, because Lindsay said she's not done with the design yet. So she was I caught her midway through. I interrupted her creativity here. So she's actually going to do a little bit more while we're talking here.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and finish it.
Sure. So is this for one of your clients, or how do you get your inspiration for what you're going to design for the cake?
Well, usually the inspiration is from the client. They may have a specific idea of what they want, an occasion or a design. This one was inspired by my sprinkle mix. Just the colors of it, Halloween colors. And then your assistant told me it's your birthday. So it's a birthday cake. It's a Halloween birthday cake.
She's so tricky.
You haven't had too much cake yet, have you?
No, I've been trying not to have too much cake, but honestly, what is too much cake?
I don't think there's such a thing.
I don't think so either.
I test the limits, though. If anyone's going to test the limits of too much cake, it's me, and I've done it. So.
Well, I'm sure you are a fan favorite with your kids. Like, what kid doesn't love cake, right?
I know. They definitely get their share.
And they could be your taste testers as well.
Yes. And it's hilarious because I'm married to a husband who does not like cake.
Oh my goodness.
He never has. I'm like, I feel like something's wrong here.
Exactly. Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah. I know. And I haven't been able to convert him. I think he's unconvertible.
Oh my goodness. Well, look, I can't even believe that. We're going to have to work on him.
I need to refill my bag. Can I do that?
Awesome, yes.
Okay.
Do you need this one
I'll
over
just
here?
squeeze it out of here.
I love the design. Is there a particular name for the design you're doing
This is a rope border.
Rope border.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this is something that's new. The stripes are new. That wasn't a trend when I was like just the
When you
tools out
first had
there.
started out,
Yeah, there's some really neat tools that have been fun to play with and
Very awesome.
yeah.
And it says a lot about you that you do your homework and kind of research what are some of the trends out here, and then you put your own spin to it.
I think a lot of times the customer is really good at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they kind of come to me with, hey,
Some of their own
I've been on
ideas.
Pinterest or Instagram.
Oh, yes. We know all about the lovely Pinterest.
Yes,
It
and
can
they
be
know
a
what
friend
they
or a
want.
foe.
It can. So they a lot of times just know what they want and come to me with it. So
Nice.
so we'll just go. You can't have too many sprinkles,
This is
right?
so nice. Oh, absolutely not.
And
My
then
6-year-old loves sprinkles. He will love you.
Awesome.
You'll have a friend for life.
And then we have our little happy birthday bat to
Oh
finish it
my
off.
goodness. Okay, we've got to show everybody this
See if I
happy
can not
birthday bat.
break him.
Look at that. Oh, that is adorable. Oh my gosh.
We'll just put him right there.
Oh wow, Lindsay, that's amazing. Did you guys see this? And she did it so effortlessly. Like, let me tell you, if I was doing this, it would not have looked like this, okay? He'd be like, what 2-year-old got a hold of your cake?
Aw,
This is
that's
awesome.
funny.
So what piece of advice would you give, if there's somebody out there, a mom or, just a female who's looking, they're like, hey, I really want to start this business, but I'm just really scared about all the ways that it could go wrong, or, is my family life going to suffer? Like, what piece of advice would you give to somebody like that?
Yeah. I would just say don't be fearful. And you don't know how something's going to go unless you give it a shot. So for me, it was kind of like just tiptoe in. And I think that's great advice. Just give it a shot, test the waters and see if it's something. Do I love doing this on a business side of things? Yeah. And does it work? Is there like fruit from it?
Yeah.
And the other thing is you really have to love it, because I think
That's good.
yeah, you don't want to be doing something all the time that takes you away from other things that you don't enjoy.
Exactly.
So that's one thing that I enjoyed, stepping back for that little respite time. It made me realize I really do love it, and I want to be doing it again. And
you missed it.
Yeah, I missed it. And yeah, it's just really cool to be doing something that is from your own hands.
Yeah,
And you started.
absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I never really had a hand up from anybody. I never had anyone invest in me.
Wow.
Or, really mentor me along.
Yeah.
So
everything you've learned, you've
Yeah.
like self-learned.
yeah,
which is
self-taught.
awesome.
And
yeah.
it's just been fun to see it grow. And there's good satisfaction in doing something and seeing it
Yes.
grow and
Yes,
blossom.
the fruits of your labor,
The fruits of
right?
your labor,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is awesome. You are awesome. Thank you so much for, joining us here today. And tell everyone where they can find you, because if you're in the Fort Wayne area, passing through, if you live here, you need to look her up and get you a cake.
Yeah. One thing unique about me is I work from my home, so you can't come to a storefront, but it's one great thing that Fort Wayne has where it's legal for me to do this. And so you can find me on Facebook. It's LinZ Cakes, LLC, and LinZ Cakes is spelled LINZ Cakes.
I love that. That's so creative. I love that.
I had to take a little twist in there. So.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram, I'm lin.z.cakes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
well, thank you guys for joining us. I hope this was a sweet treat for you. And definitely look forward to seeing you on the next episode of The Eventful Life.